what I want work to do is to create the climate for somebody else to have an experience of some kind. Now, what that means for me is that I have to make something where somebody else can make a similar kind of experiment as the one I'm making when I do it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same experiment. I don't even know what experiments they make with it, and I don't even particularly care. But what I do care is that I make a place where people can not have the same experience, but can make experiments themselves. And making experiments translates into having experiences. They might not be the same ones as mine. Now, I think this is an important distinction between two ideas of what art does and what artists do. The old idea, the one I don't subscribe to, is the communication idea. The idea that artists are people who sort of shout down long tubes at an audience, and the audience, if they're clever enough, will get the message. So there's an idea of transmitter. In fact, if you look at this chart here, I put all the ideas I don't agree with in this corner. and one of them is culture as transmitter. And the idea is that I'm an artist, I've got an idea, it's come to me from somewhere else. There's always a supposition in this theory that the idea comes from somewhere else, that either you're in touch with the zeitgeist, or you're in touch with God, or you're in touch with something. I've got this idea, and I'll make this object, and this object will contain that idea, and it will broadcast it out to you. This leads to all sorts of problems. All the problems of current classical art are inherent in that model, I think. And what I want to say is that, somewhere over here, is that we should think differently about this. We should say that we should maybe regard an artist as a kind of, if you want to give him a dignified role, a kind of shamanic figure. But if you accept my theory that the work is just the trigger for an experience of some kind, it's just the way in which you can be made to have an experience, then there's no problem with all of that. And in one stroke, the whole of classical art theory dissolves and is no longer necessary, because it's addressing a problem that doesn't exist. You know, this is how problems are never solved, actually. They just dissolve.